Hi, CMattDye here. Thanks for stopping by and checking out the video. And today I want to do technical analysis on the crypto market. And you guys know that I like to use Elliott Wave as my main analysis feature, but I use a lot of other things as well in combination, which gives me a higher probability on my actual trading. So this is the overall crypto market, the crypto market cap. And I'm looking at this as the same way I'm looking at Bitcoin right now because it's kind of the same chart. So I'm looking at this as being a third wave, and then this as being the end of another third wave. So this is going to be the fourth of the, this is going to be a fourth, but it can come anywhere. So I took away the line that I had in the Bitcoin chart. You can see that in a moment. But what I'm looking for right now is one of two things, and each are going to get a little bit of a mini bull run. And the first would be another leg down, and then followed by a move up over 1 trillion market cap, probably into that 1.1, 1.2, possibly a little higher. And if it's just going to go from here, it's just going to go and then come up into that same region. So let's jump over to Bitcoin real quick and we can talk about a couple things. So here we are, and this is kind of what I'm looking at now. So this is going to be a leg in itself. This is going to be that third leg, and I'm looking for a 4, which can come anywhere. Most likely it will be above this level here, but it should be way above it. I still have this blue line in here around that 13,000-ish area, 14,000. And that's kind of what I'm looking at right here. Is this can do a couple different things. If it does move down, I do expect it to stay over that 15,000, maybe 16,000. Or if it does start from here, then that 28 to 33,000 range is a target region. Probably in the lower 30,000 would be a better area to look at, but I'm saying 28 to 33 right now, and then we'll see what happens when it gets closer. Let's jump over to Ethereum. Ethereum's been very interesting, and you can see I have a couple of lines on Ethereum. Let's clean it up a little bit. And I have this area right here where price has stopped so far, 1347 to 1363, but it has moved up fairly well. So if it can come closer to that 1454, which would mean it needs to get over that 1363, it would be very interesting. So far it's looking like it's probably going to come down and pop back up. If it gets below that 1240 level, then something else is playing out than what I'm about to say. If it stays over that by ideally a pretty decent margin, so it stays above that 1275 and starts pushing closer to that 1449, then there's a good chance that it can break that 1449 and it could start that mini bull run, which would anywhere between 1850 to maybe 2200. If I had to pick numbers right now, that's what I would pick. That's a possibility. If it does come down and it breaks 1240, then we can see a move below that 1150. That will change things a little bit, but not entirely. Until it breaks that 1069, it can still find support, and even when it does break that, it can, but it would be super ugly because right now it's just, it's starting to look a little ugly and discombobulated. And when the market does that, it's hard to really decipher it. Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm looking at with Ethereum. Jumping over to Cardano. This is the way I'm viewing Cardano. Let me move this down a little bit. And okay. So this is Cardano. I'm looking at this as a finished leg. So coming down, this can be finished right now. This down leg can be done. And the reason I drew this yellow part, is showing that. So this would be like a WX and a Y here. And then this could be an A, a B, and a C here, which would be like an ending diagonal right here. That would be interesting. And I do have a trade set up right now on Cardano, just kind of waiting for it to hit. And I'm looking for it to go higher. So if this does go higher, what does that mean? Is this going to be the end? I don't think so. I haven't thought so for a long time. I think that we get a move up and then we get a move down. And we see that with Ethereum and Bitcoin. With Ethereum, unless it breaks that low, and let's go over here, this would be that low over here, June the 18th of 2022. That would be the low, because this move here is not a move that's going to start a massive move to a new high, in my opinion. I don't think it is. And if it's going to do something, I would expect this to come down again. But it's gotten so ugly that it seems like the most likely scenario is higher, just because it's gotten so ugly and choppy, and time is a factor. So that's one of the reasons I'm looking at that. And then this is a huge bullish pattern right here. Getting that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ending diagonal usually gets a large move, and so far we've had a really large move, and now I'm just looking for some continuation off of it, and probably looking anywhere between 55 and 80 cents. And we'll have to see what happens when that happens. I think minimally 40, 45. I think that's the minimum target right now. But if it does turn into a larger move, then we can look at this up here. So that's kind of what I'm waiting on to see what happens. But we do have a trade right now in the Discord, just waiting for it to hit and see what happens. Let's go to Matic. I haven't really looked at Matic too closely, just because it's looking very, very ugly. So this first wave here, I have been looking at as corrective, and then this next one is obviously impulsive, but a corrective followed by an impulsive is still in itself corrective. After that, we got this large move up followed by a larger move down. It's been holding this support, which is very, very interesting. This was my box where I was looking at price to come down to, which would be a pretty decent area to get in. I was looking at it over here. Over here, I'm just looking at it. I'm not looking for a trade in Matic, but it's very interesting to look at. And right now, if it holds over 82 cents and pushes up, then it can get some continuation off of that. If it gets below, it's just going to be back in chop land, and we'll have to wait and see, like, as far as my analysis and my viewpoint. Below 82 cents and it's back to chop land, above 82 cents and it can get some continuation. So right now Matic is kind of just there, so that's what I'm looking at. Next, let's go to Solana. And Solana did get a decent pop here. So it got under that $10 mark, which is what I was looking for when price was way over here. Now that it has happened, we're getting a little bit of a move up, and it is looking very kind of suspect. So this move does look corrective to me. So if it comes down, that $12 area could be support. I don't really trade Solana much at all, if like, other than a handful of times that I've traded it in my life. But that's what I would look for, that $12 support. If that's going to hold, maybe. But I think there's much better things out there to trade than Solana. So this is my opinion, and that's what I'm looking for. I would say that $20.50 area could be some resistance. Let's say if it goes down and holds that 12 and pushes up, keep an eye on that area and see what happens there. If it breaks through it, then something else stronger is happening. If it doesn't, then that's probably your resistance. So that's the way I would look at that. Next, Binance coin. Binance, I do like. You see that it actually came down and broke this area. That's very interesting, because I would have looked for 229 to really hold, but it came down and it broke it. But now it's moving up, which is interesting. So I would look for it to make another high for sure. And then after that, so ideally 270 holds as your support, ideally. If it does break down, it should not penetrate 262 before it makes a new high, which is, let me zoom out a little bit, 283.5. So it should be able to make a new high over at 283.5, and then from there maybe you get a little bit of a larger pullback, and it doesn't get into the 250s ideally, but if it were to, it should stay over 258, ideally 260. That's after it makes a new high, comes down, and then it should be able to push up a little bit more strongly. And then that move will get a little more continuation, and then it'll end somewhere probably between 420 and 360, and that'll be the end of this move probably. At least that's what I'm looking at right now. So that's what I see for BNB. There's more opportunity for it to go higher than for it to break down. If it were to break down, it should break that 255. We can call it 255 and a half, 255, whatever. It would need to break that, and after doing so, I would expect it to come down and make a new low from here. But I would expect it to find some support, probably ahead of 200, and then just be ugly on the way up. Because right now, this kind of, you can argue that this and this is the end of the move. However, this is choppy, which means it does need to go higher to cancel out everything, and then it can go lower. It has that potential, but it can also move up a little bit more from here. But this is not going to be the move to new highs, I don't think. I think 100% it's not going to be. I'm a human. I have the ability to be wrong, but that's the way I'm seeing it and the way I have been seeing it, especially after this. I don't really see a scenario where this can be a move to a new high. Okay, let's go to XRP next. XRP is interesting. It popped below 30 cents very briefly, and it got down to 29.828 cents. So super briefly it popped below 30 cents. And over here I was really thinking it was going to go much lower. That didn't happen. It is what it is. And in analysis, you don't really have to be right or wrong in your analysis. What matters most is you just take the trades that have probability and proper risk, and that's what matters most. But anyway, this chart is hideous. It is very, very ugly. However, I can get some bullish connotations off of it because this move here, which was a corrective move, we could count this as an A, a B, and a C. and then this moved down similarly, like a W, X, and a Y. Even though it's very short right here, you can still count it as such. And now let's move up. You want it to stay over 36 cents and keep pushing. Stay over 36 cents, get over 40, 45. You know, you want to see it keep pushing if that's what's going to play out. XRP is a different animal in itself, just because the big lawsuit. That's interesting, and that makes it move a little bit differently. And you know, you can't really trade XRP on a pure technical basis. You can at certain times, you definitely can, but it's just something that I don't really trade a lot. I don't short it because of the lawsuit. All that has to happen is some kind of good news and it's going to go higher. So that's one thing I don't do. And I want it to go lower, down into that 20-cent range, maybe below 20 cents. I would be buying. But right here, even though it does look like it can go higher, and that's what I would expect from this chart, but it doesn't necessarily have to. It can do a couple of different things. But since it moved down and it popped up right here, as long as it stays over 36 cents and it's able to keep pushing, if it gets over at 37, I'm gonna call it 37.5 cents. If it can get over that, has stayed over 36 the whole time, and then it starts pushing, gets over 40, that would be nice, and I would expect it somewhere up here, anywhere between maybe 60 and 46 cents, maybe somewhere in there. But right now it's just not a lot to trade XRP, so I'm not looking for a trade on it, but that's the move that I'm expecting, as long as it stays over that 36 cent region. So, you know, if you did want to trade it, you have very good risk reward. You just put your stop at, you know, maybe 36 or 35.5 cents, and you're looking for 42 or more. So you have that, and that's one of the reasons why I do analyze the charts as granular as I can, and then I just look at them on the larger time frame, because you come up with different scenarios. You're like, you know, the risk reward is very low, what's the probability? Okay, you know, and then you can go with something. So anyway, if you did enjoy this video, throw a like. I would appreciate that. So I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day. Thanks for watching. I'll see you around the crypto markets, and take care.